Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American Masterminds podcast. I'm your host tonight, Topher Sheeler. I'm joined by the one and only Mr. Rob Adams.
What up, what up?
We've got one heck of a show. These ladies right here, both stunning, but also on one heck of a mission. Rob, why don't you tell us a little bit more about Courtney and Hannah?
Oh man, I'm so excited for this interview. We're going to talk about everything from mental health and suicide awareness to QPR, which is an acronym that we're going to go over. We're going to talk a lot about how we can get involved in the community and the value of doing so. And these gals are an amazing example. I'm so excited to have them on our show.
This is absolutely one heck of a show. You know the drill. Let's grab a quick word from the sponsor and we'll jump right in.
Welcome to the American Masterminds podcast.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the American Mastermind podcast. Rob Adams here, founder of Thanksgiving Heroes, extending a warm invitation to you to be a part of our golf tournament on August 21st at Thanksgiving Point. We're looking for golfers, whole sponsors, breakfast sponsor, the main sponsor, whatever you want to do, whatever level of involvement that you want at the golf tournament, please come be a part of it. Click on the link below, sign you and your friends up to come and play some golf. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.
I'm getting to a certain age where I'm like, I don't know how I collect these people. Like
We're like stray cats at this point.
I've got so many good humans in my life. I often think, I know I've known them for a minute.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
Well, so we were a baby organization when we met
first
you.
met. Yeah.
And so we'd only been like doing stuff for like a month.
That's been a year.
Yeah, it's been
we
a year
just had
now.
our birthday.
Nice.
Yeah, we just had our 1 year anniversary.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
That's pretty good. Well, could tell me what your mission is with the Rivetin Rosies. I want to say it right.
Rivetin. Yeah.
Rivetin Rosies.
Yes.
What's your mission?
So I guess it's a little bit different for each of us. When our board came together, we all have different passions that have come together as one. But the first thing is who's inspired us, which is Rosie the Riveter, who, it represents to us women that stepped up during a time that our country needed people to serve, that, women supporting men were typically out away at war doing the riveting. But then for me, like I'm our fire lead. And for me, PTSD prevention for suicide as well is like a big thing. If you want to add to it.
And mine is obviously Rosie Riveter is an inspiration to me as well. I'm actually 21st century Rosie, which is really cool because I've worked in law enforcement for 16 years. And so representing that in this day and age is really important because, women step up and they, can fulfill roles, and working in a male dominated career is kind of not losing my feminine side too.
Yeah.
And so my passion is obviously the law enforcement lead with our organization. So suicide prevention, mental health awareness, for resiliency, support.
We're all kind of like bleeding hearts. We've done stuff for veteran homelessness, but I think lately our main focus has been PTSD, suicide prevention, just because it's been so prevalent in the community that we serve that we've just had to kind of step up more in that area because it seems like it keeps happening and there's a lot of awareness, but the action is kind of where we're trying to figure out how do we get real change. We're now aware that we have a problem. And so I feel like after this first year of meeting wonderful people like you, we're like, okay, how do we've gone from talking the talk to walking the walk.
Well, let's talk about that. Why do you think that the suicide is up? Like what's happening today that's different than before?
I think one of the biggest things is a stigma, right? So working in a male-dominated career like I have for so long, and I was raised by an Army soldier, right? I was a military or an Army brat growing up. You don't talk about it. You don't talk about the feelings. You don't talk about the things you see. You don't talk about things you experience. And I think one of the things that is really important to me with this organization is breaking that stigma, letting people know it's okay to talk about it because I've experienced it myself. I have had my spouse, my second husband committed suicide, and it was horrific, and completely changed the trajectory of my life. And he was not willing to talk about it. He was not willing to get help because he thought he was a big, strong guy and he didn't need to, but he absolutely needed to.
Yeah, there's a lot of awareness about like men's mental health, but it's hard because, there's obviously the stigma, but for me to looking at our society right now, we seem to be very like mental health forward. So you would think that would start to break down the stigma, but it seems to just, I think it's kind of a multifaceted issue. We all talk about stigma a lot, but also we look at the communities that we serve. So I do a lot with veterans in all of my organizations and even professionally in my career. And then you look at law enforcement and firefighters, you're worried of ramifications as well of speaking. So like that speaks to stigma, but it also speaks to your career trajectory.
Right.
Really, because being honest about that, you might not get up for that next deployment. You might not be on that next assignment because they might not think you're fit for duty. And so it works into it, but you have to really think about how your career advancement is impacted and how can we get into this like system problem where we can harness an environment where you can talk about it and you have the tools you need and still do your job, because that's where your purpose comes from. A lot of these people that enter, veteran career, LEO, EMS, all that stuff, they're servant leaders. They want to serve. And if you take away the one thing that gives them purpose, then they're like, I'm not going to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. You're so right. And I love that you have the perspective of that. I was involved in law enforcement for only about 8 years, and I served in both the Army and the Navy. And like being rendered not fit for duty is shame. It's a shameful thing. And,
absolutely.
And also, if you were to talk about any of the things, like the cure is almost worse than admitting it, because they'll put you in like mandatory training or mandatory counseling. And a lot of it is just so humiliating, because I'll call you out in the military. They'd be like, okay, Sheila, time for you to go talk to the crazy doctor, and you're just like, oh my God, like, here we go. And so all your buddies are like, okay, have a good, you know what I mean? Like,
right. No,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
So on so many levels, like upwards and downwards in those organizations. Like, I want to be promoted. I want to, I train thousands of hours to perform this activity, and now I can't do it because I'm struggling with a little bit of this or that.
Exactly.
And so it's a big deal. And I remember like, well, I went on some pretty terrible things that you can't unsee. And then I had no way to process it, not even coping it. Like, I'd be driving down the freeway and I would remember feeling like a tremendous amount of like anger. I'm like, where is this coming from? And it was the PTSD. It was like rolling in, and it was so overwhelmingly and so suddenly quick that I could see someone being like, I want this to end. And then because I would have access to a weapon.
Right. Well, and it's crazy how much your neuroscience is like involved in this. And I talk about this. We also offer QPR, which is question, persuade, refer. It's a certification similar to CPR, but for suicidality. But in the course, I talk about how, your prefrontal cortex is what is in charge of like your thought processes, decision making. And then your amygdala is kind of like your fight or flight, and you're in survival mode. When that's fired up, there's no space for that like actual reasoning to happen. And so that's why when you're pushed to suicide, it's actually interesting in the military. It's against code of conduct to commit suicide.
Yeah.
And there's a small little like loophole that you can do that nobody in their right mind can actually commit suicide or die by suicide, because your amygdala is just so fired up that your reasoning skills aren't there. So it becomes where it feels like the only option.
Yeah.
And I think as advocates, we have to meet people where we're at with that, is because people, we talk about questioning in QPR, and, there's helpful ways to ask someone if they're suicidal, and there's unhelpful ways. And one that you see commonly is like, you're not thinking about doing anything stupid, are you? Because it seems like, this is a stupid thing. You don't want to end your life, but they're not cognitively able to make the reasoning that you would think, because they're in a spot. And then you're also adding to the shame. So it's just, there's so many languages so important when you're approaching suicide, because, and PTSD and all of this, because there's so many, I think of it as like exit ramps that we're just closing off by maybe making someone feel smaller or, depressed or embarrassed.
Yeah, diminishing their experience. So then what would be a proper question besides that one? Because
it's amazing how just being direct and just bringing something out into the light, another thing that I lament on highly. But to answer your first question is just, are you feeling suicidal? And
it can be simple. It seems really silly, but it can be simple. And,
Okay.
And
so
that can
say,
actually pull somebody out of it very quickly. And they're
So
like, oh, wait, am
I feeling that way? How am I feeling? Because
Mhm.
they're, like you say, they're on overload.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, so the way I explain it, because I do a lot of like translating complex concepts into, just easy, casual, conversational, is, I don't know, when you were a kid and you're laying in your bed at night and you see something in the corner and you're like, that is definitely a man in here who's going to come to murder me. It's a monster. That is scary because your light's off. You get up, you turn on the light because you're scared and you see, oh, it's a coat hanging over the back of a chair. That wasn't a man at all. And that's how it is with suicide too. It's like you turn on the light and you realize like, okay, we've got some problems that we need to address, but it's not this big, like, obviously it's overwhelming, but it's manageable. You go, okay, now I see that it's just a coat hanging over a chair. That is a very oversimplification of what we're talking about. But sometimes when you do just bring it out to the light, like mold, it grows in the dark. We have to bring it out into the light. The more you talk about something that's done in trauma therapy often is, the more you address something, the easier it becomes to talk about. I mean, Courtney can speak from her own personal experiences with PTSD and like she's an amazing advocate because she's willing to be vulnerable enough to talk about it.
That's one of the huge things I do because I'm also an instructor in law enforcement. And one of the things I teach is career resiliency or career survival. And you have to talk about it, especially because one of the things, because you were in law enforcement for a little while, is like after you go to a major incident, there's supposed to be a debrief. And what happens usually, people go, is everybody okay? And everybody go, yep.
Get back to work.
No, that's not it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we have to break it down. We have to talk about what we saw and what we have to process. And so that's something I'm huge about. So when I was with my law enforcement agency, when there was a big incident, I would sit down and talk one-on-one with people. Be like, tell me what you're thinking, what you're processing, what you saw, because your brain has to process it in order to really figure out how you feel about it. Because in the moment, most of us in law enforcement or in the military, we just get up and deal with it, right? It's when you go home, when things are quiet, that you're just like, oh crap, now I have
that's
to really
when it would
think about
happen.
it. And so that's why when I got diagnosed with PTSD 8 years ago, I was having a really hard time with it. I was a single mom at the time. And I had a small child to go home to and take care of. And I was like, all right, I just have to turn this off. But then I started having issues with anger. I went outbursts. And I'm not that way. I'm a very bubbly, people-y person. And that was very unusual for me. It actually took a coworker of mine bringing it to my attention for me to recognize it.
Really?
And my coworker was like, you're not you. Like, something's different. What's going on? And I'm like, been dealing with some stuff. And it brought to my attention. Right. And so then I got officially diagnosed with it and started treatment for it. And then I had adopted a dog that had gotten hard for me to handle. And so he actually became trained to be my service dog and has been incredibly beneficial to me.
Which one?
Since then, Sarge.
Oh.
Yeah.
A dog not to be reckoned with, folks.
He's a Belgian Malinois. He turns 9 years old next month, which is crazy. Yeah. I actually had to retire him recently. But derp. He is a derp. He is a derp.
He looks like could kill you, but is a cinnamon roll.
He is. Yes, absolutely. And the amazing thing is that even before he was being trained to be my service dog, he was doing things to help regulate me. He would come and do what we call positive pressure, come up and lean against me or lay on top of me because I was having horrific night terrors. He would come and lay on top of me or lick me. And it's a focus thing for a
pattern interrupt.
Yes. Yep. And so, and he still does it. I just don't take him out in public with me because I don't necessarily need him in public. I need him at home when it's quiet. Yeah. And my brain is going. Yeah. And so he provides that service to me at home. And now I have a new service dog. Her name is Penny. She's a golden retriever. She's a little funner. Another derp. Yeah.
That's her type.
Yeah. She's, yes. That's
What's derp? What does that mean?
Just a goof.
Goofball.
They're goofs.
Goofball.
Yeah. Penny's, she's a year and a half old and she's definitely still a puppy, but she's incredibly talented too when it comes to that. And so she actually comes with us when we do morale visits sometimes because she's very good at peer support. Everybody loves a golden retriever. Come on. Like everybody wants to touch her and she freaking loves it. Yeah. And so, not everybody wants to come up and pet Sarge. He's a little scary looking, but he definitely protects me and has been my savior for the last 9 years.
Yeah.
For sure.
You feel safe with that dog.
Mm-hmm.
leaning against you.
How would you not?
Yeah.
That's the scariest dog on the planet.
Yeah.
He is the most handsomest boy. And so, that's why I have him tattooed on me. He is will forever be with me.
Good job, Sarge. If you're listening, good job.
Yes.
Good boy.
He's the most bestest, yes.
I love that. Well, in your journeys then, with this can't remember what they called it when I was in, but there was like the blue wall or something like that they have where it's like almost an impenetrable space to break into these cultures and change their thought processes. Have you had success?
It's hard to quantify and track success, in this, because it's so variable. I feel like we've been able to create an amazing community, which when you think about veteran suicide, that isolation is one of the number one causes. So by getting people out, it's kind of the Achilles heel of these organizations is that
I kicked you. Sorry.
You are. I was like, am I saying something wrong? But,
that's his move. Give me
I
the
was
kick.
like, did I just curse? Or
You're good. You're good. Sorry.
But the Achilles heels of some of these organizations or groups is that they're very tight knit. And like you said, it's getting in there. But shared experience, I think, has been one of the best ways for us to get in. Obviously, Courtney's lived the experience. I'm not a veteran or first responder, but one of the things that we've incorporated is the Doug Robinson Memorial Fund, which, sponsors our QPR. And Doug Robinson was my uncle. He was a firefighter for 45 years. He championed Davis County's peer support program and was credited to saving over 20 lives from suicide. And in 2019, he died by suicide. And it rocked the community, and how to, you never saw it come in. It was the kind of textbook. Everything was, he was your happy, jovial person. And everybody said, I never saw it coming. And, we've kind of picked up that torch of continuing this work. And by being able to speak to these communities with shared or lived experience and saying, this is how it impacts, survivors too. And then, of course, like that Courtney's lived it, just saying I'm not alone in this is a big part of it.
Powerful. That's powerful. When we talk about the QPR, if I would want to get training in that, get certified in that space, where could I do that?
So for QPR, we offer it to veterans and first responders for free. You can visit our website and just send us an email to our regular info at rivetinrosiesproject.org and just sign up for it. And we will come out, do lunch and have a good time. We like to balance it too. Like, it's such a heavy topic and a lot of things that we do look at us. We look like, 1940s and we look like we should be painted on the side of a plane. That's kind of the goal, is to balance it. Like you said earlier, it gets so heavy. It's just so heavy. And that's why people don't want to address it. People are like, it's a lot. So to bring it in, we like to do, morale, and we bring joy with it because, it's like, that's kind of the balance of this is like through this agony and suffering, we can still find joy. We can still find happiness. Let's learn, let's pick up the torch and move forward with this and bring some happiness.
Well, actually, if I can jump in, I kind of want to know the background story. We didn't really touch. How did we get to the outfits? Like, if you were in law enforcement, obviously this was not the uniform.
Right.
All right.
Yes, that'd be a different type of law enforcement, I guess. So I've done pinup stuff for several years. I've just always enjoyed the style. I love the 1940s, 1950s. Women were feminine and strong and just got shit done. Sorry. I said better.
No, you can say shit all you want.
In a dress,
Okay.
Like they did everything and they still looked amazing. Right. And so it's very iconic and it's very recognizable. And, I've done stuff with pinup organizations before. And so we were actually in another organization, but we were like, we really want to take this even further. And so we founded our organization a year ago. Our other co-founder, Lori, who couldn't be here, we love her so much. She is our military liaison. She,
Lori, we are missing you. Just so you know.
Yes, we missed you.
She was married to a Marine for his whole career. So yeah, so she knows what it's like to live base to base and not have like solid foundation, I guess, underneath you.
Sure.
So yeah. And so she's, we were all in an organization together and we all came together and we were like, we really want to do more. Like, we don't just want to be these cute girls walking around and like all that. We actually want to provide something to our communities that we want to serve. And so, that's also why we're, based on Rosie the Riveter, because she was very iconic during that time. And the pinup style, we noticed, brings a smile to everybody's face when they see us.
Phenomenal icebreaker.
Yeah, people come up and ask us like, why are you dressed that way? And then we get to tell them about our mission and what we do. And we've actually gotten to recruit a lot of female veterans who love it too.
Yeah.
And so we have a lot of volunteers within our organization who are also veterans, and they love getting dressed up and going and representing the military part of it. And we love having them. And
pinup's fun. You know, it's like, we just have to bring that smile and fun to this like heavy work that we're doing, because if you don't, you can't, like, it's hard to survive it if you don't have that levity and bring that in. And definitely the pinup for me is just, when you look at it, there's strength in femininity, and we get to like have our awesome group of women doing impactful work and still feeling feminine and inspired and beautiful while they're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in preparation for this, I did a little bit of research about the ladies that stepped up during that period of time, and the production lines went way up, productivity went up, absenteeism went way down, and injuries dropped right off there because they were more. It's a crazy cool like stats. I'm a stats guy, and just they had like in the factories where they had all these men that were at war, these ladies came in and just kicked butt. Like their levels of productivity it's bananas.
Yeah,
like I thought, I mean, I would have, being the sexist male that I am, I'm like, well, I think they kept they kept the doors open. That's wonderful that they could do it. But no, they were actually exceptional and efficient, and it's cool.
It's amazing. My grandmother was here during World War II, and she had a group of friends that when their husbands were all, like my grandfather was in Hawaii and he was there for Pearl Harbor, all that. They all stepped up though. They had this group of women who went up to Hill Air Force Base and were real riveters doing this work, doing machine work. And they called themselves the old mates because all their husbands were away at war. And they had their children to take care of too, right? And like they did all of that. And then they came home, and it was a time when there's rationing and they're still baking pies and doing all of that. And when their husbands came home, they went back to life.
Yeah.
And it's like, what kind of strength and dignity is in that?
Yeah.
To just assume both roles. And these women, they stayed close, and there were a couple that made it to 99, 100. Seriously, they all stayed in this Clearfield area. They'd still get together, and they were happy. And it wasn't we have to do this work. It was, we get to do this work.
Yeah.
It's like serving is such a purposeful impact that you get to make. And there's so much, like, it's kind of nice. A lot of our female veterans suffer from PTSD that volunteer for us. And such a good way to get out of your head is to serve, and have that purpose and confidence is built through this work.
And that's another part of what we do is we also provide family support. So one of the things that I really wanted to bring to our organization is support after line of duty, death or injury. And so we've been able to coordinate with, unfortunately, we've had some officers die in line of duty in the last couple of years here in Utah. And so we've provided some support to those families. We've had, how many now up in Davis County? We've had several firefighters commit suicide. And what we do is we wait until after the dust settles.
Right.
And we then come in and say, okay, well, what can we help with now?
What do you need?
Because
that's what people disappear.
Yes.
Up front, there's a tremendous amount of support, but then after a period.
Yeah. And it's usually about 3 months because we've asked several families, and because we do a lot of stuff with like FOP and things like that. And like, where's it being?
The Fraternal Order of Police.
Fraternal Order of Police, yes.
You citizens out there.
Yeah. And so that was one of the things is like, hey, after about 3 months, everybody disappears.
Yeah.
And you're still dealing with the grief and trying to get your life back together. And we'd love to be able to come in and help with things like that.
Amazing.
It's hard because when you look at the loss of life, when Doug died, it was, you did, like you were saying, you have this huge outpouring of love and support, and it gets you through. And then it kind of, unfortunately with our society, like a news cycle's that quick.
Mhm.
And then once you're out of the news cycle, you're kind of like, oh, I have to pick up all of these pieces of my own. And so we've had conversations as a board as we've been expanding, and we're like, okay, what kind of things, if my partner were not here tomorrow, would I need help with? You know, things like lawn care, things you're not thinking about, things about your car needing its service, that maybe that was the thing that your husband remembered to do for you, you know. What things can we be providing to these communities and doing it long term, because community is life-saving, you know?
Yeah, it's everything.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love you guys.
You're part of our community.
I know
Look at
you
this.
are.
Like,
We absolutely love helping you too with all the amazing things you do.
So Thanksgiving's Heroes has benefited from these guys on so many different events. They've come to a golf tournaments and checked people in. Who doesn't want to check in to a golf tournament to these beautiful faces? And they've helped. They were you guys were ready to go for the motorcycle ride. And whenever there's a need, you're just like right there always. And so I'm always grateful for that. I'm a big believer in service. I think service is powerful medicine. When you get in your head, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling sorry for yourself, you don't have to step very far to realize that your life is quite good. And in so doing, you're rewarded. And then I also think that there's universal laws that go along with that, where you can build that energy and it's reciprocated. It's the one thing that I can continue to give away. And when I'm done, I have more of it than when I got there. You know what I mean? That love, right? And those good feelings. And so I love the opportunity to serve. I feel as though when I do, and I this isn't a Thanksgiving's Heroes plug, but that's my modality. But when I do Thanksgiving's Heroes, we have the big day. I always feel like I'm the most blessed.
I get that. Sometimes I almost feel selfish to serve so much, because I'm like, man, this feels so good.
Wow.
It's like, oh, I want to do the next thing. I'm just thinking about it.
I know every time we have an event, everybody's always like, oh, what's next? What is the next thing that we're doing? Because we do usually have something on our calendars pretty often. We have some recurring events, like on every second Tuesday of the month, we have Coffee with Veterans up in Layton at Black Rifle Coffee. And our numbers have just grown. And we've had lots and lots more people come, and it's
and I love those pictures every week. Every time you guys go, there's there's like 2 or 3 guys, and now there's like this whole herd of people that are there. It's so cool.
The really cool thing, the really cool
Standard.
thing about the last one that we just did was that we actually had a female and a male from every branch of the military there represented, which is really cool.
Oh, wow.
Which hardly happens. And then while we were there was a lady like sitting behind us, and she's like, I was listening to you guys, like, I'm also a veteran, so she's a veteran, and her husband works for Space Force. I was like, okay, he has to come because we've never actually met somebody who works for the Space Force. So we need to meet this person, and we need to get a picture with him. And so it's cool to see it like growing and the community. And then we also get to collaborate with so many other amazing organizations that are within our similar mission. And we're all involved with a bunch of different things. And so, we're both of us serve on several boards for several organizations, and it's just because it's so rewarding to serve. And that's what's really gotten me through like my PTSD and my hard times, because the last few years have been rough, and being able to serve people and put a smile on other people's faces has helped me. And I tell people about it all the time. Like I teach all across country, teach law enforcement classes all across country. And I always mention my organizations because I'm like, this is something you need to do. You need to find something you're passionate about, because it's going to help you survive your career and survive your life, really. Because without purpose, then it's a lot easier to make that decision to take your own life.
We've been really blessed too to have such a collaborative group of people, because when you're in the nonprofit sector, you know this, like from people think of it as like a watering hole. And the more people at the watering hole, you know, the less resource there is. But we have been so blessed to meet the most amazing people, like obviously you, that have enriched our lives, because, you know, we've kind of gotten to this point where if you take really a collaborative approach rather than a competitive approach to service, then we have one gal who always tells us, I may not be your cup of tea, but I might be your shot of whiskey. And it works though. We've met people through this group where it's like, okay, maybe like this isn't your thing, but we know a guy who is right up your alley. And this is going to be good for you. And it's not so much what I love about the wonderful group of people that we've met is everybody is so mission driven that it's not about the competition. It's about, we're all here with the same end goal, and we're all here to move forward together. Like, let's do this. Let's make this difference together and collaborate.
And in so doing, I feel as though those collaborations is when you gain that momentum, when you start to find like, oh, she knows the right person that I needed to connect with. And it just, there's no mistakes in this space. Everything is so intentional. Like I was meant to meet you and so on and so forth. And away we go. It's really cool. It's like you're kind of front row for a miracle.
Oh yeah.
That's how I look at it. Because something's happening all the time where you're like, huh, holy shit. That was, that's crazy that worked out that way, that you know the right person that I needed to meet or, you know, said the words that I needed to hear.
Yeah.
So
we really joke. Like I'm Shirani most of the time. We always joke like I'm kind of in the back corner or whatever, but through doing this work and meeting so many amazing people, it's like, even for me, developed a year and a half ago, I wouldn't have been able to like sit here and just chat about this stuff. I would have been way too insecure, way too everything. And it's just like, the more people you meet, the more you see this work like come together, as you talked about. Yeah. You're like, oh, anything.
Yeah.
It's been fun for me to watch her bloom into this person she is now. Because
now I won't shut up.
Take the mic away from that girl.
No, it's been great because Lori and I actually met her at an event. And
do you remember the first thing I said?
You're like, you're so pretty. I love you.
It was nice to meet you. I love you.
Oh yeah. Okay. Something like that. Yeah. And I was like, oh, we love you too. Like what's going on? But yeah, it was. And then, you know, this friendship has just developed from there and it's been incredibly rewarding. I think one of the things that gets lost in society right now too, is like women are always in competition with each other. And what I love about our organization is that is not the case. We are all supporting each other in a positive way and encouraging. And I know if I need something, I can reach out to Hannah or Lori or any of the ladies in my organization. Honestly, you know, we've created this really great community to empower women, and you know, I'm so glad that we jumped in and actually did it, because we talked about our organization for a while, and we were like, oh, I don't know, we don't want to, you know, step on anybody's toes. We don't do any of these things, and I'm so glad that we just leaped and did it, and it's been so rewarding, and we've met so many amazing people, and I wouldn't give it up for anything.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, if we can. Okay. There's a lot of people with a lot of good ideas that talk about a lot of good things. What advice would you give them to maybe become activated? Because the world needs the Hannahs and the Courtneys. The world needs you guys to shine as bright as possible, because the words you have to say it's going to save someone's life. There's no. You will save people's lives in the work that you're doing. What advice would you give to those people that are kind of sitting back thinking, somebody else is probably taking care of that?
I would think like a lot of times it's our own insecurities that get in the way of that. Like very nerve-wracking to come do something like this even, right? And my advice would be like, it's okay to be scared. Do it scared. Do it scared. Do it if you think somebody else has got it. Just do it, because you know, nothing ventured is nothing gained. You know, even if it doesn't go, literally the way we met was through a completely different organization. And now look at us, like we're doing our own thing. We're, you know, getting into these fire stations, doing morale visits, laughing and raising money for, you know, veterans homelessness. And it was not what we started out to do. And so I would say, do it scared, do it not knowing, just take the first step, you know, because if you look at the problems and the things that any of these issues or, you know, things that we're tackling, homelessness, you know, death in the line of duty, there's so much need that it doesn't matter. Just get in the water, just dump.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can get very particular about who you serve.
Yeah. If taking the first step is the hardest thing, you know, and you're going to get out there and maybe it won't end how you thought it was, but it might be even better. And that's in my experience thus far has been exactly how it's been. I am wrong 99% of the time, but that 1% of the time that is the outlier, you know, is like, sure, whatever. But this 99% of the time where I was wrong about how things were going to work out, like stoked. Glad I was wrong, because this is awesome.
Yeah. That one time you hit the ball just so, right? It's perfect. I love that. What advice would you offer, Courtney?
I would just say take the leap, right? Because life is scary in general. And if you don't do it, then you don't know if you're going to be good at it, right? So that's the way I approached my career in law enforcement also was, you know, put yourself in for that position, for that promotion, for whatever. If you don't throw your name in the hat, you don't know if you're going to get it.
Right. And the benefits of interviewing and practicing and preparing.
And don't regret not doing it, right? So, and that's the big thing I've been doing in the last like several years. Don't not do something and then because you're going to regret it later. And I have just lived my life that way for the last like several years, like just throw my name in the hat. Right. And you're going to get told no a lot, and that's okay.
Yeah.
No is not a bad word, but when you do get told yes, it's going to feel so much better.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like, all right, I've like in the last year, I've applied for a bazillion different jobs, right? Different opportunities. I get told no all of the time. I'm like, all right, so what do I try next?
Yeah.
That's fine.
I actually I think of myself as I collect no's. Like I'm
collector. All right.
Yeah, I'm a no collector.
I could put that on my resume.
Yeah,
no collector.
No collector. I have no's, stacks of noses all over the place. And it's okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. And I don't know why I was born with that weird genetic disorder.
I know. Where do you get that?
I've always been that way. I'm always the kid that's like, how about now? How about now?
How about now? Yeah. All right.
Drive my parents crazy. And it's a great thing to have. But, and so for me, it hasn't been hard, but I think that, my life, the quality of my life is equal to the relationships that I have in it. Mm-hmm. And so where would I go to build meaningful relationships? And that's why I want people to get involved in your organization or my organization or any organization, because I think the biggest thing that could keep me from feeling suicidal or depressed is alignment with good people and knowing that I can count on them. This friendship is more valuable. I want to show up for Topher, and I want to show up for you guys. And because of that, here I am, right? Yeah. And so I just think it's endlessly valuable. And if you want to be in an organization that is for dogs or for cats or for
anything,
underwater basket weaving, go for it.
Go for it. Yes. Show up and put on a brave face and make friends, and it will change your life because it's the sauce, right?
Yeah.
And it's a little bit humbling, but it's like, you're not that special in your insecurity. Everybody is, to get out there, you might realize that like, you're just going to have a good time. Yeah. Nobody's judging you.
Yeah.
Right. You're judging you the most. Like you're saying, you're doing it for others. Like everybody just wants to see you there,
I love that. I always tell my daughters, I have 4 girls. I always tell my daughters, that's where all these white whiskers come from.
The estrogen ocean.
That's right. I'm only 28 years old. I always tell my girls, it's none of your business what they think about you because they're busy worried about what you think about them. They're in their own shit. You know what I mean? They're thinking their own stuff. And my daughters are, they're warrior goddesses. Like they'll walk up and just start talking to adults, and they don't care. I love that. And I just wonder where they're going to go. Like I'm excited to see what's going to happen next, because they're so bold and brave. So I love that advice. That's really very strong.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Somebody else's perspective is not your responsibility either. Like I think I've learned that in law enforcement because I got told that all the time. Well, how it's being perceived is how you're going to be judged. And I'm like, okay, I can't control that. So why is that my problem?
Yeah.
And so, so I hated that in law enforcement. Like, well, it seems like this was what you were trying to do. And I'm like, but it wasn't. And I explained to you what my
real intent was.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, that doesn't matter because perspective is everything. I'm like, nah. Not really.
Yeah.
And so I ruffled feathers a little bit in my department, which, And so ruffle feathers.
Ruffle some feathers.
Stand up for what is right. That's a huge thing if you see something is wrong, say something about it.
I love that. The other thing I would say is that everybody has an area of genius. Everybody does. Yours is different than mine, but in my area of genius, I am Rain Man level amazing at what I do. Like I'm really very good at it. And because I have this area of genius and you have yours and Topher has his, organizations need me because not everyone's like me. And they need you to show up to be whatever that area of genius is. It's not an accident.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, everybody has different work. Like I do a lot with veterans education. I can talk about veterans education all up and down every which way. What Courtney does as field training officer, I don't know that. Doesn't make me any less smart, does it? And that's the thing that people, I think, get hung up on with their own insecurities is someone being really good at something does not mean you're any less good at it.
Yeah.
Or good at your own thing.
Yeah. In fact, there's wisdom in welcoming that person.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The reason I think my organization has taken off is because I find people way smarter than me. And I get out of their way, and they don't. When I say it's a pink shirt, they think their color pink. They're thinking salmon or whatever they're thinking. It's not my vision of what it is, but oftentimes it's as good or better. I just have to be humble enough to receive their genius, you know?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's what makes our board so interesting is because we all are good at different things, right? Like, I love networking and talking to people. I'm super social.
You are good at that.
all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff. And then
Everybody's best friend, like immediately.
I know.
It's
And
amazing.
she exudes it. Like
Yeah.
I just said, I'm shy Ronnie, but the first time I met this girl, I was like, well, I love you.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yep. And we've been besties ever since then, since that day. And then, Hannah's really great at knowledge about, veteran benefits and things like that. And then the QPR, she's our QPR instructor. And then Lori's really great she's also really great talking to people too. She's a little bit shy too. But all three of us together are very dynamic. Like we bring everything that you need to be successful
Complementary.
together. Yes, absolutely is. Absolutely. And then other women that we bring into our organization helps so much too. And I think one of the big things that I also talk about with our organization is we provide volunteer efforts too, because the hardest thing, running a nonprofit is finding people to come and help. Right.
Okay, let's talk about
and
that.
so I'm like, okay, one of the things we do is like, if we see somebody's having an event, we'll say, hey, do you need volunteers? And they'll be like, yes. I'm like, well, we're a volunteer service organization that provides volunteer efforts to other organizations that have similar missions. And so that's how we've gotten involved with like the VMA. It's how we've gotten involved with Behind the Lava, how we've gotten involved with FOP, how we've gotten involved with
Battle Forge
Foundation, Irreverent Warriors,
Thanksgiving Heroes.
Yeah. All of these organizations, because it's so hard to find people to give their time away. Because most people are like, what do I get out of it?
Yeah.
Like, well, you get a lot out of it actually. It might not be monetary, but it's very, very rewarding. And so that's how we, collaborate with a bunch of other organizations is we've actually now, because more organizations know about us, they're like, oh, you need volunteers, reach out to the Rivetin Rosies. They'll get dressed all cute and they'll come out and they'll put chairs out and they'll, clean up and they'll sell raffle tickets. We're really good at selling raffle tickets.
Oh, yeah.
It's really hard for people to say no to cute girls. So
or just like in your face annoying.
Yes. Yeah.
Any way you can get it.
Anyway,
please, I'll buy some, please.
Yes. And so, that's another thing. It's like, we want to make sure these other organizations are also successful. And so, yeah, we love going and doing those things. And
a bunch of golden retrievers. We just like to have a good time and serve and see good stuff happen.
Yes. Yeah.
And you guys are wildly approachable too. I remember seeing you three at my first event, and I'm like, who are these glamorous ladies at my event? And I walked up to you, and I know what this looks like. I know I'm a big creeper. I know how it is. But I mean, I'm okay with it.
It's fine.
It's fine. We all know.
Depends on how tight those pants are that day.
Yeah, that's true. But you guys were so accommodating, and I'm like, what are you about? And what are you doing? And you guys were just like, guess what? It was kind of like a Labrador experience. Like, this is what we do and this is how it works. And I was just like, I love these guys. Like, they're the best. And so thank you for that, for being a part of our events. If I wanted to be involved or support your organization, how could I do that?
You can go to our website, the rivetinrosiesproject.org.
We really didn't think through the tongue twister that we would have to say 1,000 times every event.
Yeah, we have that.
We'll have the link. We'll have the link in the.
Yeah, we'll put everything down in the link, all the Facebook, everything, and if the email too, so they can get a hold of you.
Yep. And so we do. We can collect funds on our website or on our Facebook. We just started a fundraiser to help provide the QPR training. So I think it's a $5,000 goal is what we have. And so we can provide that for free to law enforcement and military organizations and fire departments. One of the things that we're working really hard on right now is getting into those agencies and teaching this class. We also really want to provide it to the family members of those who serve, because it's so important, because they will notice signs first. And it's so hard to say something to someone that you love, like, hey, are you thinking about maybe hurting yourself?
The more you do it, though, because I think since becoming a QPR instructor and getting my certification, I think I've QPR'd more in the last year than in my entire life. The more you do it, the more like it's a part of the destigmatization process.
Wow.
Wow.
Destigmatization.
Yes.
I thought the Rivetin Rosies project was tired. Don't make me say it again. But the more you talk about this stuff, the easier it is. And, just ask the question.
Yeah.
If I ask that question, are you thinking about committing suicide? Simple. And they say yes, then what do I do?
Okay. So
That's the
it's
second
question
part.
persuade. So persuading someone to live, that sounds like very lofty, expectation, and it's a lot of weight to carry. But it's amazing when you go through the training with QPR, you learn there is such power in abiding with someone. So
I love that word.
It's my favorite.
That's a good one.
And imagine you're living your life with this huge thing. The number one symptom with depression is hopelessness. You have this hopeless secret that's hard to say aloud, and someone says it for you.
Oh yeah.
They said it. I didn't have to. And then they're not even judging me. They're just, are you thinking about this? I get an opportunity to be honest. And then once they do say yes, it's okay. What has brought you to this point? Like, let's talk about it. You do a lot of listening, because sometimes it's just you carried it for so long that just setting it down is enough. And it's wild. The persuasion part of it, there's literature that talks about getting someone to make a promise, get someone to make a commitment.
Yeah.
And listening and letting someone offload has such power. That's why QPR,
that's turning the lights on.
Exactly. And CPR, everybody knows you can get CPR certified. You don't have to be a cardiothoracic surgeon to save a life. You don't have to be a licensed therapist to save a life. You just need to have compassion, and just to be able to sit and talk to somebody, get that, light turned on, and then go, okay, now that we've gone back, we're going to go full circle. This amygdala has kind of, just like trauma dumped or word vomited everything that's going on. We go, okay, we've set that down now. Now let's think it through. You can borrow my cognitive reasoning, because obviously you're not in a spot.
So
and
the
I'm
R is
lend
reasoning.
it to you.
No.
It's refer. So that's the last part of it, is finding them resources that can help them long-term, right? And one of the things I explain a lot in QPR too is people ask me all the time with the class is like, they're thinking of these acute crises, right? The ones that are on movies, and it's a big dramatic episode that you're calling someone and they're in direct crisis. QPR, where it's best utilized, is that lead up, because a lot of people don't realize. I talk about my own experience with my Uncle Doug, right? He was that person, that, we never saw it coming. QPR really teaches you to recognize the risk factors and the warning signs so that you're intervening early. You are helping someone get off that exit earlier sooner. So it's just, there's so much that abiding with someone can do. Sorry, I went really past the question that you had asked, but
no, that was great.
So yeah, it's just a really powerful, and that's what I love about QPR is anybody can do it. You just have to have a little bit of compassion.
Yeah. And then the resources part, like we're still collecting those resources too. We have several on our website, organizations that we know that support mental health awareness or can find resources for somebody. So if anybody's a resource and wants to be on our website, they can absolutely reach out, and we would love to put that on our website for people to be able to utilize. That's a
great call. We have such great listeners. I wouldn't be surprised if you got a little something from that, because our listeners they're fantastic. Such a good tribe that we've put together.
100%.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
So now Q, question, P, persuade, R, refer. And what's the demographic or how young can we do this training? Do you talk to youth groups, or when's a good time to bring this up?
We can talk to youth groups. Like typically my literature, because suicide is a harder topic, we start like 16 and up. And then, anything younger, it's kind of, we'd be happy to teach the parents so that, it's a very pragmatic approach. There's a lot of emotion, and we do try to tailor it to each demographic we talk to, but we like to empower, parents to be able to speak to their children about it in a way that they see fit.
All right. I'm making some notes here because this is a big deal. I'd love to get you. I've got just the group I need you to visit with.
Oh,
awesome.
Would be great. If I was a cute gal and I wanted to be a riveter.
I've seen you in a dress. It's possible.
We had a birthday party where you came
We'd have to work on the hair.
But
I know. I've got the perfect wig haircut.
You really?
Yeah, I could rock a wig.
I think I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah, not cute.
Wow.
Terrifying.
That's all to perception. So that's your perception.
Yeah.
my perception was.
I'm going to be honest about my perception real quick.
Nobody asked.
That man should not wear active
You shouldn't be
wear
wearing tights.
ever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I ruined some Lululemon for somebody, I'm sure.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Anyway, just edit that.
Edit that out.
And what is the like time consideration? Like what are you looking at if I wanted to become a riveter?
So we don't have like, we ask that you volunteer at one event a year.
Oh,
We're not asking you to commit a ton of time.
Well, we know once you come to one,
you're
then
in.
you don't want to come in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what we've experienced. We've had, ladies who've been able to come out to one event and they're like, oh my gosh, when's the next one? Because it's so much fun. And we have a good time, but we're doing meaningful things.
Yeah.
And then once they start buying the wardrobe too, they kind of get addicted to that also. So
Speaking of wardrobe, I have been to your house and I've
you've seen it.
the shoes.
yes,
It's incredible.
I have a whole separate closet, separate room pretty much that has all my pinup stuff in it.
Yeah.
Goodness.
It's
I do.
amazing.
Where do you even find the dresses?
There's several websites you can go to. Amazon has it. Yeah. Like Shein actually sells a whole bunch of vintage
Retro
pinup stuff
lovely.
now.
Huh.
Yeah. It's pretty popular because rockabilly's been around for a long time too. So it's very similar to that, just a little bit different, if you want to be time period accurate or whatever. But yeah,
Just
no,
like
we
to have fun.
we do fun stuff, right? Some of the fun things that we do, like when we went to your golf tournament, we dressed like Rosie the Riveter. And so it's,
a lot of denim.
it's a lot of denim.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It is a lot of
Canadian
denim.
tuxedo.
Tuxedo.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And
Or
so-
coveralls, whatever.
Yeah. And so that's super fun too and super simple because we do have a lot of ladies that go, oh, I can't pull that off. And I'm like, the best thing about pinup is that anybody, any woman, any shape, size, age can pull off pinup. Even if you don't want to do this, you can do Rosie, right? And Rosie's super easy and still very iconic and very memorable. So that's one of the things that I was like, anybody can do it. And it makes you feel good. It's definitely helped boost my confidence over the years, like just being able to get dressed up and feel pretty. And because everybody's like, oh my God, Courtney, your hair is always so perfect with your victory roll. I'm like, this has taken me years to perfect, but it's not hard and I can teach you how to do it.
That's called a victory roll.
It is called a victory roll.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's from World War II.
Yeah,
the
that's-
women wore their hair up in these rolls and then wore the bandana so their hair wouldn't get caught in the machinery.
Huh.
So it's called victory roll during World War II.
And the red lip was to stick it to Hitler.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He didn't like it.
He
Huh.
hated red lipstick, red nail polish. So that's why all the Rosie would wear red lipstick. Well, red
Really?
nail
I didn't
polish.
know that.
Wow.
Fashion of that
Yeah.
time.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I didn't know that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, in the as we're winding down on the podcast, where do you see your organization going in the next 3 to 5 years?
Oh, I would love to see it like have platoons like all over the country. Like if we could expand outside of Utah, it would be amazing. We do have an amazing lady in New York who's trying to start it up. It's just a little slow rolling, right? Which is fine. That's okay. But yeah, we would love to expand this all across the country and
I want more QPR instructors and,
Yeah.
just more fun times. It's amazing the memories you get to make.
Yes.
I am so in it for the fun and the good that comes along with just having fun. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Like
Yeah.
the donut dollies of Vietnam are what really inspired me. I know that's not Rosie, but a similar
Very
thing.
similar. Yeah.
And just how much just having a good time can make such a difference to get people out of their head, break down these walls, go out and do good. The more good we do, the happier. If it saves one life, it'll all been worth it.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. Amazing.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
And saving a life doesn't have to be that dramatic thing. It's just that guy or gal that was isolated and didn't feel like they could do it, came out, and now they have quality of life over quantity of life. Like, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. That is a great answer. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you'd like to tell the audience that's important that we haven't talked about? Because your mission it's a big mission. You guys have a broad scope of things that you work on. Is there anything else that we need to talk about? Because I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to really express your mission.
I would love if people knew of either an organization or a person who's struggling to reach out to us if they're, within law enforcement, firefighter, first responder, military, veteran, whatever. Like we'll come out and mow your grass. We'll come out and do something, right? And we just want to make people feel good. And so if you know of somebody who has that need, like reach out to us. Or if you're with an organization that supports those within our mission, reach out to us because we want to help you too. Like we've been able to do some really cool stuff with the VMA. We've been able to do some cool stuff with some other organizations that are with the VA. And we wouldn't have known about them if somebody hadn't been like, hey, you guys might want to reach out to these people. Cause like we've been helping with First Step House. I had to think about the name of the organizations. Valor. And so that Valor House. And so that they help with veteran homelessness. And we're like, yeah, we would love to come out. We actually helped them with they were at an event and they won a prize because it was a golf tournament and we had like a competition, like all the different, because we were fun.
We had stick horses that we did barrel racing on.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And so we won the best.
We won money for that.
We won the best hole. And so they got a huge donation, because of that, it made us feel so good. Right. And we just had fun. It was super fun that day. And now they reach out to us to see what else we can do to help them. We're like, absolutely. Let us know. Like, that's the thing is like, if we don't know where the need is, then we can't go help. Right?
Yeah.
So if people know there's a need, reach out to us. If you know that there's a fire station that just had a really hard call and they need a pick me up, we will come out and we will do a morale visit and we'll make them do goofy things.
We'll play the chicken game.
Yes, we'll play a chicken game and we'll bring them pizza and we have 2 peer support dogs that we bring out and they can pet dogs and just, boost their morale. We've done that with some law enforcement organizations too. And it's just my favorite thing. The morale visits is probably one of my favorite things that we do.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I guess if I could just build upon what Courtney had said, because she covered amazing stuff, is like, even if we're not your thing, I would just want to say like, you can do it. Like you can make a difference no matter where you're at in life. And I just want everyone to know that. Like it's so... One of the things that I do, all the time at work is I talk about VA law and I just have to like boil it down to very simplistic ideas. And I've been very blessed to be able to do that. But it is also, I make everything simple and you'd be surprised how simple life really can be and how our minds just tend to overcomplicate it. And if the people listening could know one thing is that you can do it. Just go out and smile at someone. You'll have made a difference. Like just get out of your comfort zone and make the call. Talk to the friend and you're making a difference. It's that simple. And that word abide, be with people. It's really good for you. That's
on our logo too, is we know you can do it.
You can do it.
We know you can do it because, as long as you try, we know you can do it. We can accomplish something.
You'd be surprised the good you can do without even trying. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like people are just so good at their core. I am the eternal optimist. I'm the president, self-appointed president of the Bleeding Hearts Club.
Preach, girl, preach.
You would be amazed that just by going out and being yourself, how you can have such an impact on people. And when people see goodness in you, they feel it in them and then they go and do good and whatever. Just be like, it's good. Life's good. Let it be good.
Some of the fun things after we go do our events is sometimes we'll like go to dinner or something, right? Or we'll go walk around somewhere. And we've had people stop us and be like, oh my gosh, you guys are so cute. Like what? And we could have made an incredible difference in that person's day. They could have been having the worst day and they're like, oh my gosh, I saw these cute girls at the mall or something, and then it just takes them out of that sad spot. And so that's one of the reasons why I wear pinup all the time too, is because it does, not to draw attention, but just to make somebody smile, right? It makes me smile, makes me feel good. So why not share that?
Yeah.
Be a goofball.
Yeah.
Shine bright goofballs.
And be yourself. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being on our program. I am grateful for you. And if you've liked what you've heard, please get involved, show up, like this, share this, and you know what to do.
Don't forget to subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.